You wake up. The first thing your hand reaches for is your phone. You're not even fully conscious yet, but your heart is already hoping. Maybe there's an update, a response, a sign that something has finally moved forward. But your screen is quiet. No new emails, no replies, just another rejection. Or worse, silence. And in that moment, a familiar weight settles in your chest. Here's the part no one really talks about. You are not alone in this. There are thousands, maybe millions just like you. Good people, talented people, people who worked hard, made endless duas, applied everywhere, prayed through the night, and are still left scrolling through job boards that don't even interest them. Just trying to survive in a world that was never built to nurture peace. A system that measures your worth by how exhausted you are, how many hours you grind, how high you climb, even if it leaves your soul behind. But what if the problem isn't you? What if Allah himself is blocking those doors? Not to punish you, but to redirect you? What if your provision, your rizq, is meant to come from a completely different path, one you've been ignoring? Maybe it's not a rejection, but divine redirection. Don't click away. This isn't just feel-good content. It's not manifest your dream job hype. It's a reminder rooted in reality, and more importantly, in truth. Because maybe, just maybe, this is the moment where it all starts to make sense. You did everything right. You worked hard. You stayed patient. You were sincere in your efforts and your duas, but the doors stayed shut. And now you're wondering if you should give up. Don't decide now that it's over. Because what you're about to hear might be the exact shift your heart needed. We live in a time where busyness is glorified. If you're not constantly on the move, the world tells you you're lazy or unworthy. We've been conditioned to believe our value is tied to our productivity, to how exhausted we are at the end of each day. But Islam didn't come to enslave us to capitalism. It came to free us to serve Allah. And here's the tragedy. Too many Muslims now tie their self-worth to the number of interviews they land, the titles they hold, or the offers they get. We were sold the lie that hustle equals success. But if rizq truly came from hustle alone, how do you explain the man breaking his back in the sun, earning less than someone sipping coffee on a laptop? Because rizq doesn't come from effort alone. It comes from Allah. Yes, Islam honors work. Our Prophet said that the best food a person can eat is that which he earned with his own hands. But Islam also teaches balance. You weren't created to burn out in the pursuit of worldly titles. You are created to worship, to serve, to live with purpose. When hustle becomes your identity, you forget the one who sustains you. That's why so many feel lost, not because they aren't trying hard enough, but because they're placing their faith in the wrong system. We say Allah is Rizq, the provider, but live like LinkedIn and job boards are our saviors. We chase stable careers and treat divine provision as our last resort. But the truth is, many are not stuck because they lack ability. They're stuck because they're ignoring the path Allah actually opened, while begging him to open doors that he, in his wisdom, already closed. Maybe you've whispered, "Yeah, Allah, why isn't it working? I'm trying." But what if it's not working because you're knocking on the wrong door? Maybe your rizq was never written to come from a job offer. Maybe it was written to come through you, your hands, your vision, your service to others, not our. Prophet reminded us that what you earn with your own hands is the most blessed. Maybe that small business idea you dismissed, that freelance offer you ignored, that service you thought wasn't real work, maybe that was the door Allah made easy. But you kept chasing traffic because the world told you success means. Being chosen. Islam teaches us something different. You've already been chosen by Allah. Walk the path He gave you. Don't just follow the crowd. Follow the signs He placed for you. Even if no one else notices. Today, most people are just trying to survive. They apply for jobs not to serve, but to escape drowning. But in Islam, we're taught to serve, to be of benefit. The Prophet said, "The most beloved people to Allah are those who are most beneficial to others." That's not a quote to hang on your wall. It's a guide to how Rizq works. Ask yourself, what can I solve? What need can I fulfill? Because once you shift from hire me to how can I help, your entire equation of provision changes. Rizq doesn't chase titles. It chases sincerity. It chases value. It chases service. Look around. There are endless problems in the world today. Families need help finding halal options. Youth need Islamic guidance. Muslim women need support and services. Elders are lonely. Children are confused. And every single one of these problems is a chance to serve. Whether through a simple blog, an online course, a tutoring gig, or a halal business, you don't need investors. You need intention. And barakah flows from that. Some of the most successful people today didn't wait to be hired. They started with what they had. They served. And the Rizq came chasing them. Because when Allah is your employer, you're never without work. So instead of refreshing your inbox again, refresh your intention. Open your heart. Serve your amal. That's where the barakah lives. Allah helps the one who helps others. So be that person. Build something that benefits, even if it's small. Because even a mustard seed of service, when planted sincerely, can blossom into a legacy. And when you've done everything, fixed your resume, practiced your pitch, showed up in every way, and you're still met with silence, remember? Maybe. The silence is space for something deeper. Maybe Allah is preparing your heart before your hands. Maybe He's not just testing your effort, but your direction. Stop knocking on human doors and ignoring the divine one. Your Rizq isn't trapped in someone's inbox. It's written in the heavens. And Allah promises whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out and provide for him from where he does not expect. That's not a hope. That's a promise. Where is your sujud? Where is your istighfar? Where are your tears in the last third of the night? We chase references, connections, polished portfolios, but the most powerful connection is with the one who already wrote your provision. Ask Allah not just for a job, but for peace, for tawakkul, for barakah. Ask not to be approved by people, but to be accepted by your Rabb. The people you're chasing, managers, recruiters, they don't hold your destiny. Allah does. One divine command, and an opportunity will arrive from a place you never imagined. Sometimes the sujud you make today is the reason a door opens tomorrow. Not because of your skills, but because of your sincerity. Because you bowed before the King. The world teaches you to chase. Islam teaches you to bow. So bow and let the Rizq chase you. Too often, a rejection email becomes a verdict on your worth. But who gave them the authority to define your value? When you place your identity in their approval, you're not just risking heartbreak, you're giving away your soul. Barakah isn't in a resume. It lives in ruku, in service, in sincerity. When you chase the dunya, you gamble on outcomes. But when you chase Allah, you invest in intentions, and Allah never lets those intentions go to waste. There's no shame in applying for jobs. But there is a tragedy in believing your worth begins or ends with a job offer. In Islam, success is in obedience, not outcomes. You plant, you water, you pray. And the harvest? That's not your burden. It's Allah's gift. Some of the most meaningful legacies were built in silence, without applause, without validation, and without a LinkedIn update. So stop shrinking to fit the world's version of success. Stop doubting your value because your inbox is empty. And start planting seeds that only Allah needs to see. Because when you live for Him, even if the world says no, His yes will change your life. Your Rizq is not in their hands. Your barakah isn't in their system. And your future, it's written by Rizq. We scroll all day through career advice and productivity hacks. But our Islamic legacy wasn't built on CVs. It was built on conviction. Our Prophet built a nation, not a resume. Khadija Raye didn't wait to be chosen, she created. Abu Bakr didn't hoard, he served. They all saw their Rizq as a tool for something greater. Jannah, you weren't created to just survive a 9-to-5. You were created to lead, to uplift, to carry the honor of being a Khalifa on this earth. So work hard, take the means, but don't forget, your provision is never late. Your value is not up for negotiation. And your future is not built in boardrooms. It's written in the heavens. And if all of this reminded you where your focus should be, then let it guide others too. Share it, not for clout, but so more hearts remember where real provision comes from. Now comment this simple dua below to let it live in your heart and someone else's. Ya Allah, grant me rizq that brings me closer to you. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Al-Razak, Al-Razak, Al-Razak.